Welcome to the Health Channel, all health all the time. I'm Olga Villaverde, coming to you from the Baptist Health South Florida studios. We got a great show for you today because a personal transformation inspired one local doctor to help others overcome their very own health challenges using alternative medicine. Joining us today to share her story and expertise is Dr. Elizabeth Trattner, an acupuncturist and doctor of Chinese and integrative medicine. Welcome to the show.
Hi, thanks for having me.
No, thanks for being here. First, I want to talk a little bit about you.
Sure.
Because I think it's nice to always share stories, and you don't mind if I get a little personal, right?
No, not at all.
Okay, so I know you've always been interested in health as a child.
Yes.
But it wasn't until college where life really just made a dramatic turn. Can we go there and talk about what happened?
Sure. So when I was in college, I got very run down, and also at the same time, my grandmother passed away. And I got very sick and finished college from bed and developed asthma at the same time. Right after I graduated from college, I got married and moved to Arizona and spent 1988 basically in a hospital. It was there that I coded. I was in 2 respiratory codes, one of which I was in a coma for about 5 days. Basically, the doctors told my husband that they really had no other options than to call my family, and I might pass away. So to get my things in order, I know. But
were they telling you exactly what was happening?
Well, I didn't know what was happening. They were telling my husband because I was in a coma.
But did they tell him?
Yeah, they did. They had no other option, so I was placed in a medically induced coma. I had an asthma attack. I was put on a ventilator.
Just like that.
And they blew a hole in my lung while they were intubating me. And that's why my voice sounds the way it does, is because I, at some point in that coma, resisted and extubated myself. So I pulled the ventilator out, tore out my vocal cords, and that's why I sound like I've been smoking 10 packs of cigarettes a day. So.
Oh my goodness.
But it's okay. It's all right.
So where's the turning point where obviously...
Yeah, that was pretty bad.
Yeah, you're obviously still here, so that's wonderful. God bless. What happens then where the doctors say, okay, she's going to make it?
So I did have a near-death experience where you go through the tunnel, and I heard a voice that said, she's not ready, and I came back.
You did?
I didn't realize it, though, until I was home for about 8 days, and I was kind of coming to. You know, I was on a lot of medication in the hospital.
What did you see?
It's what you hear. I went through a tunnel, and I saw my grandmother who had passed away. There was a lot of light. There were people I didn't know who they were. And I heard a voice that said, she's not ready. And then I went backwards through this tunnel and then came back in my body. I don't know when in those 5 days that happened. And then when I returned home, I was in the hospital for about 10 days total. After about a week of being home and sort of kind of getting better, because it's quite a traumatic event, I started to realize what happened, and I was like, oh my gosh, I came back for a reason. And you know, I remember having like all these lead sticky marks all over me that was taking weeks to get off, and you know, because I had heart monitors on, and I was like, okay, I have some business to do.
So you definitely then just saw a calling, if you will.
Yes, and I think when you have such a profound life event and you do get to come back, you know that you've got some work to do and you've got your work cut out for you.
All right, so where does that work begin? What did you then realize you had to do?
So on my own, my doctors were like, well, we don't know what to do with you. And I spent a lot of time in the library because back in the day we didn't have the wonderful internet. It was all, you know, reading books. I read a lot of books that came out of the 40s, out of the environmental health movement out of Texas, and reading books about food rotation, food allergies. And I was able to get myself much better to a point. And then I moved to Tucson, Arizona.
Beautiful
and through,
place.
Yes, it's a great place. And through an incredible stroke of fortune, a friend of mine is like, you gotta go meet this guy. He's amazing. His name is Dr. Andrew Weil. And he was my doctor, and he really helped me get well. And it was really the moment that another defining moment where I met him and I knew my life was changing right in front of me. And he took me on as a patient. He helped me get well. He helped me learn all about all the things that we're going to talk about today. And he gave me the belief to believe in myself that I could get well. And no other doctor really said that. And so from there, I got to go to his medical school classes. I've trained professionally with him. I have 2 certifications out of the University of Arizona Medical Center, and it's a center of excellence for integrative medicine. It was the first of its kind, founded by Dr. Weil. And so it was really, really incredible just to be there in that space when really all of this medicine was in its infancy. I mean, really, this medicine has been used for thousands of years.
And you're talking more about Chinese and integrative medicine,
it's
right?
Chinese and integrative. So I really learned integrative medicine first, which is what Dr. Weil practices. He's a Harvard MD, and integrative means everything. It's using the best things for the least amount of damage to the body. So sometimes integrative medicine means you have to take an antibiotic. Sometimes integrative medicine means learning breathing techniques, and it's really understanding all those modalities and how do you integrate it for each individual and how to scale it. And so I learned integrative medicine before I learned Chinese medicine. And then at some point with my relationship with Dr. Weil, he's like, I don't know what we're gonna do with you, but let's figure this out. And so I went to school for Chinese medicine because at that point I had moved here, and Chinese medicine has an incredible scope of practice in the state of Florida.
Tell me what the goals are when it comes to Chinese medicine. We hear a lot about it, but a lot of people wonder, okay, so what is it?
So the beauty of Chinese medicine is it's not just acupuncture. There's a lot of different modalities that come with Chinese medicine that people don't realize. So people think Chinese medicine, they think of acupuncture, okay? But acupuncture is one of the modalities that is used. It's acupuncture, it's food therapy, we're gonna talk a little about that later, it's cupping, it's gua sha, it's movement therapy, it's herbal medicine, and it's a whole system of health that's basically designed for that individual. So being able to talk to you, I would be able to say, okay, here's what I'm seeing, here's what your constitution is, here's what acutely is going on with you, and then I take those aspects of Chinese medicine and marry them with integrative medicine and create a very comprehensive plan for treatment. So it's not just Chinese medicine, it's really an amalgam of everything.
And it really does help with a lot of conditions. I want to show our viewers a graphic that shows some of the conditions that you, along with many other doctors, help with. Women's health, for example.
Right. Oh, it's amazing for women's health.
Specifically what, menopause?
Yeah.
I just brought that one up because I just happened to be 51.
Me too. Well, I'm right there with you.
Okay.
So with menopause, it's excellent. It's actually great for reproductive health especially.
Oh, look at that.
Yeah, anything from not being able to get pregnant, so infertility, regulating periods, endometriosis, painful periods, amenorrhea, no periods, things like mood disorders, weight issues, and we're going to talk a little bit about Chinese dietary therapy later.
And a whole host, digestive, autoimmune, respiratory.
It's really everything.
I was reading here, and this one's very fascinating, that this type of medicine can also help with beauty and skincare.
Yeah.
Well, hello.
Right.
Hello.
We're going to talk about that later, but and actually that's really, I mean, I always feel it's so funny to say this, but actually all these Chinese beauty modalities are very hot right now in the beauty scene. And I think what we're doing is, with everything, with food and with health and healing, we're really going back to these ancient cultural medicines and really exploring what worked, because I think there's only just so much stuff you can put on your face, and a lot of these other practices that come out of Chinese medicine, they don't hurt.
Agreed.
So,
you consider your work, and I'm going to quote what you say here because I wrote it down, and I like this quote, an ancient approach to modern women.
Yes,
Can you explain
ancient
that?
wisdom for modern women. So
like
it's really
that.
taking all of the past and all the good things of the past, and I'm sure you remember like your grandmother and your great-grandmother, if you had the, you know, the privilege of having a great-grandmother around and learning all that things, so we're pretty much the same age. You know, those stories we don't hear anymore. And so a lot of what I do is what I learned from these two incredible grandmothers that I had, and really taking all of those things that we've done as women for thousands of years and using it in the modern world to survive. Because I think that we are in a different situation where we're not in these huge communities anymore, and we're not living in groups or clans or families. You know, we're very isolated, and it is actually those things and what we did and how we cooked that actually kept us healthy.
I completely agree.
And so it's taking all of those things and applying it to the modern world, because as women, we are not playing on a game board that was designed for women. We're playing on a game board that's designed for men.
And still is, by the way.
It is, I know. We can talk about that for another show. But anyway.
That could be a whole week.
Whole year. Anyway, so yes, so it's taking all of these things and really helping women understand, like, okay, so you know what? Women walked, or women cooked with each other. You know, women cooking makes oxytocin. I mean, the only other way you're going to be able to do that is if you breastfeed, and like that ship sailed for me a long time ago. So,
me too.
So you know, those things are very, very important. So you know, a lot of women like, oh, I just want to take out service. It's like the act of cooking actually does something to your body that lowers your stress hormones. You know, and we're in a different thing and in a different environment, a different age, where we have a lot of stress coming at us from a lot of different things, from technology, from our jobs. The act of cooking not only lowers your cortisol, but you produce oxytocin that lowers that hormone, and you're actually nourishing yourself. So on a lot of levels, you're taking care of yourself like your grandmother, your great-grandmother, and the women before us, which I think a lot of people today just don't really give a lot of attention to.
And another thing, too, that we don't get a lot of is sleep. There are so many things to help boost our immune system, just like you said, cooking.
Right.
A few other tips that we have to help boost the immune system. Sleep, how important is that? Eating well, exercise?
Well, so, okay, the basic tenets are sleep, exercise, eating well, and obviously breathing. Those things are all cornerstones.
I was going to add
health.
one more, but maybe I shouldn't.
Well, you can. What is that?
No, it's okay. Okay, moving on.
Okay, so all of those things are important. So regular sleep is very important. Going to bed, preferably before 11.
By the way, it's in bed.
Oh,
The
okay.
other one.
Oh, okay. All right, we'll talk about that later.
Okay. Go ahead.
Going to bed at a regular time, preferably before 11 o'clock. 11 o'clock is sort of like the bewitching hour. It's the energy of the liver. You want to make sure you go to bed before every hour or before 11 it's considered double. So, and really, if you think about it back to the ancient wisdom for modern women, we would get up with the rising sun and go to bed with the setting sun. So it's really getting to bed around like 9, 10 o'clock, and then waking up when the sun comes up.
Absolutely.
So that's very, very important. You don't get to do catch up on the weekends. It's not like you can just, sleep through the weekend and catch up. So it's regular sleep. It's eating regular meals, and it's exercising.
And you brought some products here. I want to go
Sure
through
did.
them before I take the break. What are these? They're fascinating.
Well, there's a lot of stuff here. So one of my favorite things for immunity is bone broth. Bone broth contains something called AKG, which boosts the white cells. So when we're sick, this really, sure, and this is a little portable one. I really like that brand because people can bring them to work. The nice thing about modernization is you can get things like this and bring it to work with you. Obviously, I preferred homemade, but this is wonderful to take with you if you have a cold. I like people drinking bone broth every day. It's good for gut health and it's excellent for your immunity.
Ginger's a big one, I know that.
Yeah, ginger's huge. We're gonna hop to ginger and then we'll go back to probiotics. So ginger's wonderful, and actually this is my favorite herb by far. So ginger reduces inflammation. Ginger is a natural decongestant. Ginger helps digestion. Ginger does pretty much everything, and there's a tremendous amount of studies from the NIH on ginger for nausea, inflammation, digestive health. It decongest you, so really, not just for colds, but really every day. Ginger is actually a digestive tonic as well. So this is by far my favorite herb. You can get ginger in things like tincture like this. I use this a lot. I'm all about the Lazy Girl's Guide to doing it well. So you can do it in a tincture. Obviously, this is great because it's fresh. Probiotics, we're going to hop to this. Probiotics, your first line of defense is actually your digestive system.
That's what Hippocrates said.
Yep. We see a lot, now we're seeing a lot of things about gut health. But probiotics do so many things, and now there's a brain connection as well. When we get sick, probiotics are very, very important to take. You can always boost your dose when you take them. I like taking actually live cultures that are refrigerated. These are travel ones that I send with my patients when they go on trips. Probiotics are excellent. Sambucol. So right now we're having a nice outbreak of influenza A. I don't know if anybody's talked to you about that.
Oh, yes.
So sambucol is made from elderberry. You can pretty much get it anywhere now, and it protects against various strains of H1N1. So it's easy. You can give it to your littles. It's a really great tool for staying well, or if you're flying, you can take it before you get on an airplane. I'm not even going to talk about what happens on an airplane.
No, you don't. Right now, I don't think anybody should be getting on a plane. We're going to get to the rest of them in just a few minutes. We're going to take a quick break.
Okay.
Actually, I did want to ask you one quick question,
Yes.
which is popping in my mind, but I really do have to take a break. So
Okay,
I
no
want you to
worries.
give me a soundbite to this, with
Okay.
what you told me about, having that near-death experience.
Yeah, sure.
Is heaven for real?
Yes, it is.
Okay. On that note, we're going to take a quick break.
Yes.
Oof. Gosh, I just felt the chills. You might be familiar with a detox or a cleanse, but how much should we detox and how often? The doctor's going to weigh in. We're also going to look at all the rest of the products there. I see Himalayan salt, which is something I love. You're watching the Health Channel, All Health All the Time on South Florida PBS. If you have a question for the doctor, anything on your mind, please give us a call, 855-796-4475. Remember, you can watch the Health Channel wherever you go, allhealthtv.com. We're back in 2.
Us. It's what this country is made of. But right now, our bond is framed. How do we get back to us? The why fills the gaps and bridges our divides. Support your local why today. Because where there's a why, there's an us.
Addiction is a dark place, but just as each new day breaks, there's light. A light that illuminates the people by your side. Out of the darkness, you are walking with 22 million others struggling with addiction. The cure to darkness is light. The cure to stigma is love. And the cure to disease is treatment. Join us as we walk into the dawn of a new day. Together, we are stronger than addiction. Learn more at chatterproof.org.
Infectious diseases spread by pests, illnesses like malaria, Zika, and Chagas disease are causing a worldwide health crisis. Here at home, we don't face the same level of threat, but we shouldn't let our guard down. Mosquito-borne diseases like West Nile virus and Zika are impacting communities across the U.S., and Lyme disease spread by ticks is on the rise. Whether around the world or just around the block, get the facts you need to protect your family at pestworld.org.
Families come in all sizes and shapes. Sometimes your friends are your family by choice, or sometimes you're just stuck with Uncle Charles. But what we know is that you want to protect the people that are close to you. But the flu can unravel everything. Your flu vaccine protects you and your family. No matter what draws your family together, protect yourself, protect your family. Everyone needs a flu vaccine.
I may look like all the other dogs, but I was born for a purpose. To one day be your companion, your eyes to see the world. I'll be your courage, your friend. With me, you'll find new freedom and hope for a better future. A dog I'm not. I'm a Southeastern guide dog.
Welcome back to the Health Channel, All Health All the Time. I'm Olga Villaverde, and with me today is Dr. Elizabeth Trattner, an acupuncturist and doctor of Chinese and integrative medicine. If you have a health question for the doctor, give us a call. There's the toll-free number right there, 855-796-4475. So let's get into detoxing, as we say. It's very trendy.
Yes.
We hear about it a lot,
Sure.
so nothing new, right?
Well, okay, so first of all, I think that detox is overused. I think we have a liver. I think it does a really good job.
It does a very good job of doing that, yes.
Exactly. And I think we're at a time of the year where everybody's like really focused on food. I actually try to veer away from that because you have a liver. But we're going to talk about other things that are important, and we're talking about home detox and personal care detox.
Okay,
and
because I know we were talking about it before the break, that there are a few ways that we could detox in our life. Let's show our viewers a graphic, and she's going to give us some great tips. So grab a pen and pencil. It's going to be great. Detox your home.
Yes.
Detox with green products. Detox from technology. Detox with salt.
Exactly.
So let's take the first one. Detox with home.
Okay,
you have some great
sure.
ideas here.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm going to tell you my favorite story when we talk about detoxing.
Go for it.
So our houses, especially here in South Florida, are all now designed to be airtight because of the hurricanes. We have these very nice, tight, solid houses.
This is true.
And so we're cleaning our houses, and we're making our houses all nice and clean, and we're putting these dishwasher tablets that have a lot of chemicals and a lot of endocrine disruptors and things like that in it. And that dishwasher heats up over 200 degrees. So what happens? All that chlorine, all those chemicals escape into the air because they're
and we're
gas,
breathing them in.
and we're breathing them in. And where do we hang out the most in a house?
In the kitchen.
Exactly. So there
I'm a
you
gourmet
go.
cook, so that's where I'm at.
Yep, I went to cooking school, so I'm with you. So things like non-toxic dishwasher tablets are very, very important. I would rather eat off a dish that isn't perfectly clean than a dish that's loaded with chemicals. Those chemicals go into our body. So I love using the dishwasher analogy. Things like hand soap, really important. Anything with fragrance, we're talking about dryer sheets, laundry detergent, anything that's HE, you've got to be really aware of. And so I have patients that literally come to see me, and the first thing that I smell is this overwhelming, ridiculous smell of fragrance in clothes. That's toxic. Any artificial fragrance is toxic to our bodies. And we are seeing more and more asthma on the rise, more allergies.
You're talking about just perfumes, body sprays,
Everything,
soap,
everything. I mean, I could get into everything. So those things are bad for you. And I will start coughing when somebody comes in because it's just so toxic. Fragrance is very, very toxic. We're talking about things that you can plug into your wall. We're talking about candles that have artificial fragrance. We're talking about anything that you can burn, anything that goes on your clothes, dryer sheets. So I'm just going to show you a couple products. So this is a great idea. These are dryer bags, and all that's in them is lavender. Okay.
Oh, how nice is that?
Yeah, isn't that a great idea?
Yeah.
It's lavender. It's what people have used for thousands of years to keep things smelling good.
Place in the dryer for 5 to 10 cycles.
Yeah,
Natural
exactly.
moth repellent.
Right. Not bad, right?
Yes.
And it's not toxic.
And lavender. That's
Right,
fantastic.
exactly. And lavender helps you relax, so that's really important. Another thing is essential oils. So you can also, there's little wool balls that you can put in the dryer, and you can put essential oils in them, and then they can smell up your clothes. They're made out of wool. They're non-toxic. Like I said, any dryer sheets, wetting laundry detergent, washing detergent, dryer sheets, fabric softeners, don't even get me started on those. Anything that we clean our house with that's on their floors. Our buildings are airtight, and especially here in South Florida. And so we have to be careful because we are having more indoor pollution than we are having outdoor pollution. So I think we have to be really careful of that.
Let's talk the importance of salt and detoxing there as well.
So I really like salt. It's inert. We've been using it for thousands of years. You can take a bath. You can go, we're fortunate enough that we can go jump in our ocean here. It's beautiful. Salt pulse. Remember science class, hypertonic and hypotonic?
Yes.
Remember that?
Oh my
so
gosh.
salt pulse. Remember
Hyper
that?
and hypo, yes.
So anyway, I love it. Salt pulls. You can do nasal lavages. Salt is loaded with minerals. We're not talking like kosher salt. We're talking like Himalayan salt or sea salt are really excellent for you. Salt lamps are very popular right now. And then another very important thing about detoxing is natural beauty products and personal care products. So when you get in that shower, you're heating up your water and you're creating steam. So they're good. Everything turns into a gas. You're using soap, you're using hair stuff, you're using conditioner, and it's creating gas, and it's going not only into the air that you breathe, but then your pores are opening up and it's absorbing it. And so you want to use something that isn't toxic. And so we're fortunate enough that green beauty is really on the rise. I believe the numbers are, green beauty has doubled since 2013, and I think it'll be doubled again by 2020 because of what's happening with our women, that they're getting so sick. And so the consumer is demanding it because these chemicals are bioaccumulative, which means they stay in our system. And so we have to be very, very careful now what we're putting in our body. Unfortunately, we have lots and lots of chemicals that we really need to remove out of our society that we can't really use anymore. I mean, we've had water trouble all over the country, and people are getting ill from it.
That's right.
And so you can start this at home by just changing things out one by one. These are really great air fresheners. This is a really high-end, beautiful beauty product. This is an eco-luxury brand. It does just as good of a job as traditional beauty products do. This is an edible lipstick. It's made with food grade.
An edible
wax.
lipstick?
Well, it's food grade, so
Oh,
the
that's
oils are food grade.
interesting.
This is a non-toxic soap. This is, again, this is 7th generation. This is another brand that I really, really like that's non-toxic. This is a natural deodorant. That's another big discussion that we can talk about. This is just a plain avocado oil. You can use it in your hair. You can use it on your body. It's food grade. The only caveat with green beauty products is that they degrade fast. And because we live in South Florida, you know that a lot of our cosmetics go bad. So make sure that you're not keeping them in a humid environment, which is kind of difficult because we are in South Florida.
Exactly.
Just don't keep it in a sweaty bathroom, or keep it in an airtight box within your bathroom so the humidity doesn't get to it, so it doesn't go rancid.
By the way, I do want to share with our viewers, and I know there's plenty of them that maybe want to talk to the doctor. You can give us a call. It's a toll-free number. It's really easy, 855-796-4475. There it is, 855-796-4475. There is a term that I hear a lot. It's called, well, let's take this first. Ways to detox. Detox your home, detox with green products, detox from technology, and detox with salts. So we kind of chimed in on those. There is a term that's called unplug. What does that mean?
So digital detox. So I think, and you know, fortunately, we grew up in an age where we listened to AM radio, we like sent letters. and we did things slower. And I think that we had the fortune of seeing what life was like before we had all this technology. I think there's some great advantages, and I think there's a tremendous amount of disadvantages.
Oh, I would prefer to go back in time to when it was a little bit more difficult. I liked it.
I agree with you.
Thank
you. We're on the same page.
Yep.
So I think what's happening is, well, we know for a fact that electronics are doing something to our brains. It's overamping our brains, and we can't quiet it down. So the antithesis is going into nature, and I think that's why things like forest bathing is so big right now, but really that's nothing new. I mean, what did Thoreau do? He went into the woods, and what did our founding fathers do? They took constitutionals. It's just right now it's called forest bathing or whatever. You got to get out into nature to reset your brain. My cousin did a study. He's a neuroscientist, and he went with other neuroscientists, and they went out without their phones, and they literally saw a change in their brain activity. It was on the New York Times.
No doubt about it.
So I think it's important to unplug. I think really between the hours of like 10, 11, I think keeping your phone out of your bedroom is very, very important. And also I think just being aware of what your screen time is. If you can look to see where your screen time is. If it's over 4 hours, I think you've got a serious problem. I wanted to talk about one of the really interesting issues that I see with technology and why it's really important. I see a lot of young people who have a lot of wrinkles on their foreheads, and their vision is changing. And it became very profound to me because next time we're going to talk about it with the green beauty treatment that I do, or the beauty treatment that I do, I actually am able to work into the fascia. But I have never seen so many 20-year-olds that have lines on their foreheads, and their vision
And a
is changing.
hunchback. They're hunchback.
They're hunched over.
They're like this now. They can't even walk straight anymore.
Exactly, and their posture is so caved in
awful.
that their muscles are shortening. They're getting a lot of TMJ. They're getting a lot of headaches, a lot of vision problems. And there's no 26-year-old that, I remember having any wrinkles.
Oh, I did. I think I just started a few years ago, to be honest.
Right, and so it's really interesting to see what technology, and also, when you're using a laptop, you're like this.
Oh, I know. Yeah.
And so, and a lot of these kids are like sitting in their beds, they're hunched over, they're on their phones like this, and so I can literally feel what's going on in their muscles, that it's like knots and crunched, and their jaws crunched up.
They can't even communicate anymore.
Right.
They can't even say a sentence because they have to type it out. It's hilarious.
Right.
We got to take a quick break.
Okay.
Actually, what's really funny, I do want to tell my viewers that for 2 weeks during vacation, everybody's phone went bye-bye, and it was amazing.
You took away everyone's phone?
Everybody's phone.
Good
It was
for you.
amazing.
Good
We
for
spent
you.
the holidays actually communicating, talking, and so much came out of my children, and so much they have learned from this experience. And I could probably spend an hour on that, but it was the best thing I did.
Yeah, that's terrific.
On that note, we're going to take a quick break because our viewers want to hear more about you. So when we come back, we're going to talk more about ways to rejuvenate your skin.
Yes,
That's
yes.
so important for me because the wrinkles are coming out without using harmful products. You're watching the Health Channel, All Health All the Time on South Florida PBS. If you have a question for the doctor, please call us using the toll-free number 855-796-4475. And remember, you can take the Health Channel wherever you go. Visit our website, allhealthtv.com. We're back in 2.
Because of you, I feel not alone in this world. And you let me know that it only takes one person to make you feel wanted.
We all play a role in keeping our community safe.
Every day, we move in and out of each other's busy lives. It's easy to take for granted all the little moments that make up our everyday.
Some are good, others not so much.
But that's life.
It's when something doesn't seem quite right
that it's time to pay attention.
Because only you know what's not supposed to be in your everyday.
So protect your everyday.
If you see something suspicious, say something to local authorities.
The purpose of clinical research is to help understand how the human body works and how health and disease come about. So we want to understand what makes good health.
I think women's participation in clinical trials is extremely important because we have an entirely different set of issues, whatever body system you're working with, it's different from a man and from a child. So there are certainly differences there that we need to understand and focus and realize that are specific to women.
Science has shown and taught us that men and women are different in a variety of ways beyond the obvious differences. Our organs are different, our level of our hormones are different, we respond to treatments and medications differently. Based on those findings, every single cell in a woman or a man's body is a male or a female cell, and those cells respond differently to different triggers, to different treatments, and to the environment.
Welcome back to the Health Channel, All Health All the Time. I'm Olga Villaverde, and with us today is Dr. Elizabeth Trattner, an acupuncturist and doctor of Chinese and integrative medicine. If you have a question for the doctor, please call us using the toll-free number right there, 855-796-4475. All right, so I want to jump to the skin and how we can improve our complexion and how we look with your fascinating facial rejuvenation acupuncture. Can we talk about that?
Absolutely.
Okay, so what's that?
So facial acupuncture, beauty in Chinese medicine is called Meirong, which is basically cosmetic. And so this has been around for 5,000 years, and this is another wonderful practice that has come out of Chinese medicine that we've been able to help create beauty from the inside out. So it's not just the gua sha or cups or needles. It's the combination of that and addressing the underlying condition of the person. So you and I are around the same age. You and I may have very, very different situations where today a lot of cosmetic companies are marketing to you and I the same way.
Absolutely.
And so, but with my treatment, you and I may have very, very different conditions that are creating changes in our skin, for lack of better words, that are different. And so what your concern is going to be is not mine. And so through acupuncture, cupping, gua sha, and then addressing the underlying condition, we build beauty from the inside out.
Okay, so let's start with one you just said, gua sha. What is that?
So gua sha is this. So I love this. This is a gua sha tool. This is actually used for the body as well. These are made out of jade. I have another one that's made out of rose quartz. And gua sha is actually a body treatment as well that actually can help the immune system. It can help pain. It can help allergies. I'm going to show this to you. So gua sha on the face doesn't leave marks. So gua is the tool and sha is the rash. Now, we're not leaving marks on the face because that really wouldn't do anything, would it? So we start with the chest and we move out laterally. I hope I'm not messing up my mic here.
No.
And we go at a 15 to 30 degree angle and we move laterally toward the lymph nodes. So we move the fluid in the chest because this is what our head attaches to, is our neck and our chest. So we're moving it across our chest like this, and then we go very gently upward and into the lymph ducts right here.
Oh, it feels fantastic.
Yeah. And jade has different properties than rose quartz. Jade has been used for 5,000 years, so you go up like this. And you're basically moving everything into the lymphatic terminals into the body. So you said you studied science, we've got to get that rid of lymph. And because of our stagnant lifestyle, we're going to keep going lateral and lateral.
I got to be honest, this feels really nice.
Right, and you would be surprised, I have changed the shape of people's face in one visit.
Oh my goodness. Am I building collagen?
You are building collagen and elastin.
I'll take anything.
And so as we work along the side of the face like this, and it's important to go at this angle, you are moving lymph, you're creating circulation, you're diminishing fine lines, and you're basically helping bring a lot of circulation and getting rid of toxins in the skin. So I don't know about you, but I wake up and I have 2 giant bags under my eyes that are probably still here. I actually work a lot under the eye very carefully. You gotta go at more of an angle. very, very gently. So I really like this tool because it's got these little bunny ears, so I can get around the eye. And so very carefully, I go around the eyes. Now, what we're seeing a lot on social media is people going back and forth like a windshield wiper.
Right.
What you're doing is pushing lymph into the face. That's not the right technique. So it's very, very important. You can come in, have a session, learn how to do gua sha correctly, but just people remember, at an angle and always go lateral toward the lymph ducts, and start at the chest, move laterally, go up the neck, move into the lymphatic terminals here, and along the sides of the face. So,
all right, while I continue to do it, let's go over then what that
out.
other one is there.
This? Okay, so this is a facial roller, and this is something that a lot of people love and a lot of people are buying, and again, you're seeing a lot of people just do this all over their face. There's no clinical evidence with facial rollers right now, although they are wonderful because they create the massage. Massage is where there is data, but you could massage your face with your hands, your phone, your shoe, a spoon. This is just something very beautiful. A lot of people, what they do is they will put this in the refrigerator and use this around their eye to actually move the lymph and decrease the swelling. I really actually like it for that reason.
Okay.
Facial rollers are from Chinese medicine as well. Empresses use them. And actually you started on the right side to increase more beauty. So always starting at the right.
Why the right side, I'm sorry?
It's just historically what they've done.
Oh, okay.
I know, so that's a fun fact.
No worries. The cupping, is that the cupping there?
Yeah,
What is
so
that? How
this is
that
facial
used?
cupping. So, you know, I'm sure everybody remembers that famous photo of Michael
Phelps.
getting
Oh,
out of
gosh.
the pool with the marks.
Who could not forget that?
But cupping is a 5,000-year-old practice that, again, comes from Chinese medicine that's really big in the beauty spotlight right now. Facial cupping is a little bit more nuanced than gua sha, which, you know, this is easy to teach a patient. This is a little bit more difficult, and you can cause bruises. And for ladies like us, if we don't use it correctly around the eye, we can really rip the daylights out of our skin. But what cupping does is it reverses and it pulls blood out and increases circulation. So it's actually like a reverse massage. So here, give me your hand. So it pulls it up, and so we drag it along the skin. So this guy may be a little bit too big. We're gonna use another one. We drag it along the skin. We're not gonna use your face. And you always have to use an oil with it. And we increase circulation by pulling it along the face. Cupping should not leave any marks on your face. There are a lot of people out there that are doing cupping. They're young women, they're doing it around the eyes, and they're just yanking this thing around the skin around the eyes, which is very, very delicate skin. It's actually a stepping motion. These are glass cups. You need to be a seasoned pro, and you really need to use these bulbs. So just like the gua sha, we move in the same movement. These have a lot more strength, moving out that lymph and blood. But it brings a beautiful rosy glow to the face. It actually gets rid of lymph stuck in the face like nobody's business. It helps with fine lines. You can actually like suck out a fine line.
Well, let's start sucking away in the break.
That's a big one. So I'll give you a baby.
That's what I need.
We're gonna give you a
I
baby.
need the
to start
big
with.
one.
But they're all different shapes. So this actually is really great. We use this around the eye, and we can actually use it to like iron out a wrinkle. But you have to remember to always go laterally and always go in the direction of the wrinkle. So you want to you're gonna go like this and get rid of the wrinkle. You're gonna get rid of the wrinkle like this.
Why don't you do this side real quick? And I'm gonna remind our viewers that there are more treatments to come. Go ahead, go ahead.
Okay, well, we have to do it with an oil because I don't want to leave a stock mark.
I want to see what it feels like. Take a moment while she does this to look at this phone number in case you want to learn more about this. Here's the phone number, ladies. Give us a call, 855-796-4475. That's 855-796-4475. That feels fantastic.
It does, but you have to remember, always use oil with gua sha and with cupping because you may look like an octopus attacked you.
Okay, one more thing I want to ask was something that I know you created, and I'm reading it right here. It looks, my eyesight is going a little bit now. Gemstone therapy, what's that?
So the gemstone facial and gemstone therapy has actually been around for thousands of years. Gemstones, crystals, are minerals.
And what are you doing here on this beautiful woman?
That beautiful woman is my daughter.
Aww,
so, yeah, I know.
and I didn't even know that.
I know. Well, you know, look at her, actually. Anyway, so what Shar is having done is she is having a cosmetic acupuncture done. Or she's having it on her belly. That's a treatment used for stomach and digestive issues. But I actually use crystals, gemstones, as an adjunct therapy. Crystals have minerals, gemstones have minerals in them. Our body needs minerals. And crystals and gemstones have a specific matrix and have a vibration. And so just like sound, crystals, gemstones, minerals have the same. So they have a vibration. So I'm gonna give you an example. So quartz, for instance, you remember this, radios, watches, computers we had a quartz movement. Remember that? Remember quartz watches?
Of course.
And so quartzes have something called a piezoelectric effect. The cathode in a CT scan is made from Hubernite quartz. So gemstones have been used in medicine for years, and in fact the NIH just had a display with the Smithsonian called Minerals in Medicine. So minerals are used in dentistry. We need minerals to survive, like copper, iron, calcium, everything are minerals. Things like lithium. Lithium powers up a battery, but we also use lithium as an antidepressant. And so there's a lot of stones. We don't have a picture of Sharp anymore, but I use a lot of stones that have lithium, like kunzite, because it does calm. Now, is it going to get you off an antidepressant? Absolutely no, but there is a physiological effect. It's just like how we bathe in salt. Salt's a huge mineral. It's a crystal. I have a huge salt crystal called halite. It's the same thing as salt. So that in conjunction with acupuncture that we know helps stimulate blastocysts in the dermis, stem cells, increase circulation, reduces fine lines, increases collagen and elastin.
And you do this therapy on your daughter how many times?
You know, it's really funny. So my daughter will wake up, and if she's puffy, she's like, "Oh my God, Mom, please gua sha on my face." Or if she'll have an event, I'll do it on her. Cosmetic acupuncture should be done in a series once about every week to 10 days or a week to 2 weeks. Part of what I do is I teach my patients how to gua sha their face, so they're actively working on their face, so when they come to me, I can get in deeper with the gemstones, with the gua sha, with the cupping. So, you know, if you come to me and I do a series of treatments, yes, it's going to work, and then you come in once a month for maintenance. But if I do a treatment on you and then send you home, and in that period of time you're doing gua sha, I get to get in deeper into your body. So part of what the gemstone facial is all about is diagnosing your constitution and teaching you about what's going on. So if you have acne or you have dry skin, those are going to be very different roots, or maybe the same root, because we live in Miami. A lot of people have an overgrowth of bacteria in their digestive system, which comes out as acne. And we know from studies, I mean, so that's a Chinese medicine theory, but we also know that acne and rosacea, there's a correlation between overgrowth of bacteria in the gut that causes those things. So those, very interesting how they bisect. It's just that we use different words, but it's really the same treatment.
Fantastic. All right, I'm going to take a quick break, but can I have that gua sha?
You sure can. Here, I'm going to give you like a nice.
I'm going to gua sha while we take this break.
We're going
to gua sha together. So
Ready?
stay with us, because when we come back, this feels really good. We're going to talk about the alternative medicine. Look, you can see this feels really good. The alternative medicine approach to maintaining weight and using food as medicine as well.
Yes.
You're watching the Health Channel. Fascinating. All health, all the time on South Florida PBS. If you have a question, give us a call. Toll-free number right there. You want to know about gua sha? Call us right now, 855-796-4475. And remember, you can take the Health Channel wherever you go by visiting our website, allhealthtv.com. You can watch a Health Channel live stream or even watch videos from previous episodes.
You're doing a great job.
Thank you so much. We'll be right back.
You have heard about breast cancer, but do you know BRCA? BRCA stands for Breast Cancer Susceptibility Gene. Everyone has BRCA genes, but some women inherit BRCA genes that have a mutation or a change. Women with this genetic change have a greater chance of developing breast and ovarian cancer than other women. About 50 out of 100 women with a BRCA1 or BRCA2 genetic change will get breast cancer by the age of 70. CDC offers a confidential web tool called Know BRCA that women can use to learn their risk of having a BRCA gene mutation. Learning your risk for a BRCA gene mutation allows you and your doctor to make important decisions for your health, This may include genetic counseling and testing, enhanced screening, and other methods to reduce your risk of ever developing breast or ovarian cancer. Enter your family history, learn your risk, talk to your doctor. Visit nobraca.org to find out more.
Did you know that people born from 1945 through 1965 have the highest rates of hepatitis C, but most don't know they're infected? People can live for decades without symptoms, but over time, hepatitis C can cause serious health problems. If you were born during these years, the CDC now recommends that you get a blood test for hepatitis C. So talk to your doctor and find out if you have hepatitis C. It could save your life. No more.
Welcome back to the Health Channel, All Health All the Time. I'm Olga Villaverde, and with me is Dr. Elizabeth Trattner, an acupuncturist and doctor of Chinese and integrative medicine. Fascinating hour we've had so far with her. If you have a health question for the doctor, please give us a call. This is our last segment, so please call in right now, 855-796-4475. We'd love to hear from you. So, making simple changes to our diets can really have a big effect on our overall health. Over time, the American diet is including more sugar and more processed food, which I'm sure we could talk about for hours and hours on end. Not good, right?
No, not good at all. It's actually very pro-inflammatory. Sugar, not even a couple hundred years ago, wasn't part of our diet. I mean, sugar consisted of fruit. That was it. And what we got from grains and root vegetables, and that was about the extent of our sugar.
So what would you say our food choices have affected us over time? What would you say?
I mean, everything.
Or how would you say?
Okay, so modernization has created disease from our heads to our toes. And anything that's refined, anything that's junk, anything that's man-made, it's bad for you, period, end of discussion. And if our grandparents were to see what we were eating, or our great-grandparents, their eyes would be rolling back into their heads right now.
My parents say that all the time.
Yeah, I mean, it's ridiculous. And, going back a little bit to my grandparents, I got to watch, I had a grandmother who lived to be 101, and, these people walked every day, and they got their food, and they got one bag of food because that's all they could fit on an ice box, and that was, a modern thing was ice, and that's all they had. And so everything was fresh, everything was seasonal, everything was local. And, that's such a big deal now, buy local, and, that's kind of old news.
Food can be a medicine, there's no doubt about it.
Food is absolutely medicine, and in Chinese medicine, we have Chinese dietary therapy, which is very, very different from dietetics, which is an incredible field of study. I actually wanted to go to school originally to become a dietitian, but, fortunately, I was able to get certified in Chinese dietary therapy instead.
We have a caller, actually, Dr. Liz from Miami is on the phone. Liz, how are you?
Oh, I'm good, thank you.
What's your question, sweetheart?
I just want to ask the doctor. Now, I have a fatty liver, but it's a non-alcoholic fatty liver, and I don't know if this has anything to do with my issue, but I always feel sick to my stomach. I don't know if it's in my saliva or what it is. After I drink water, after I eat, after anything, I always feel sick to my stomach. I don't know if it's my liver or is there something more possibly that this could be.
So obviously I can't diagnose, but what I can tell you is probably the best thing to do for when you get nauseous like that is this ginger. And ginger you can get in its raw form. We had a bottle of ginger tincture. You can get ginger candies. Ginger is really great for easing nausea. With a fatty liver, you have to be careful for eating fats and being really careful also to control your stress levels because stress and alcohol can actually contribute to that. You said you didn't drink though. So ginger tea, other things that can help are peppermint, which we do have some peppermint tea here that are aid in digestion. And then the other thing you may want to try is bitters. Things like Angostura bitters are digestive. They actually help break up bile and help the liver digest. And so that's originally when they were creative, like aperitifs, all were herbs. And so you can get things like bitters. Bitters are very popular right now because they increase digestion. So I would try that.
Thank you, Liz.
Do you think anything with the water, though? Like, why, even after water, like drinking water, I feel nauseated. I don't even know what that's all about.
I'm really not too sure. Are you doing like lemon and water? Have you tried that?
Just after I eat anything, it's
lemon and water. Have you tried lemon and water?
Yeah, lemon and lime.
Lemon and water is very
good
because it changes the pH.
Okay.
Through your parietal cells of your stomach. It creates more of an alkaline environment.
Mm-hmm. Is there any Chinese things that's good for maybe gallbladder too? Like, is that all for good gallbladder as well as liver?
So avoiding sour foods, that's very, very important. Anything that's fatty, obviously we covered that. And again, bitters, staying away from refined foods, even though a lot of times people want bread or rice, I would stick with a lot of green vegetables that actually help the liver and the gallbladder and the digestive system.
Great advice. Thank you, Doctor. And Liz, thank you so much. Hopefully you feel a lot better. Let's go over real quick. We have a few minutes left in the show.
Sure.
I see mushrooms. I know they're big. Let's talk about those. And what other, that white stuff there, I'm not sure what that is, Doctor.
Okay, we're going to talk about that. So this is a really interesting thing. This is from Chinese medicine. This is a wonderful thing. And this is if you have a stomach ache. So this may pertain to our last caller. This is kuzu. Kuzu is a root vine. And actually, this is sort of like what's destroyed the South. It looks like chalk.
Kuzu root starch.
Yes. And so what we do is we make that with apple juice for an upset stomach. And kuzu actually coats the digestive system. So when you have like a stomach flu, it's actually great for stomach flu. This is safe to give to your kids when they're sick and nauseous. And this actually coats the stomach. So kuzu is actually something that we give in herbal medicine, but it's actually used in food therapy. So you dissolve this in the bag of this in 32 ounces of unfiltered apple juice because you want to keep the pectin. Pectin helps line the stomach. You stir it on a low heat for 10 minutes and then a reaction takes place and it actually sets up almost like a gel, and then you eat it. I actually store it in the fridge for probably like max 5 days, and you can just eat this, and this really helps with nausea, upset stomach. You can add a little bit of ginger and cinnamon to it. So this
I've never
is
heard
great
of
food
that.
therapy. Yeah.
It's fantastic.
Yeah.
Mushrooms, I know they're big.
Yep, mushrooms are, let's knock everything over. Mushrooms are functional foods. This actually helps build the immune system. It produces natural killer cells. These are shiitake mushrooms. You can use them in cooking. These help, like I said, with your immune system. But mushrooms do not do anything. So it's really important if you're going to use mushrooms as functional food to buy fresh, buy organic. It's very, very important. Dried mushrooms, you've got to pass. A lot of dried mushrooms are sulfited or they contain sulfur, which can make you sick. Okay. So fresh mushrooms, these are available everywhere now, and this is a tremendous functional food. So we really love mushrooms, and this is something that you can have every day.
And in that can there?
And in this can is matcha. So do you know anything about matcha?
No, I don't.
Okay, so tea comes from tea, white tea, black tea, green tea.
Matcha.
And matcha all come from the plant Camellia sinensis. That's what tea is. Matcha is the whole vegetal leaf ground up, and it is 136 times stronger than green tea. If you open it, it's going to be like a green cascade of everything. It's going to get all over the place.
Okay, I won't do that then.
It's amazing, but it's called green gold, and it's used, actually this is from Japan. This is a really high quality. It has it's one of the highest ORAC rated food products on the market. So ORAC is antioxidants. So matcha actually helps induce an alert state of calm. It's very good for your skin, so it goes back to our little green beauty segment. And it's a great replacement for coffee. It does contain some caffeine, but it is mood enhancing. and yet it calms you down, and it's loaded with antioxidants. And so this is a wonderful superfood. I'm sure you've seen people with their matcha lattes and everything like that. This is excellent. And green tea in Chinese medicine actually helps get rid of dampness, and we live in a damp environment, so another functional food.
Fantastic. This has been a great hour. It truly has been a pleasure having you. And your story when you were, how old were you when you had that near-death experience?
I was about 24.
24 years old.
Yeah.
Still think about that moment?
I think about it all the time, actually.
You do?
And I've had some amazing experiences that have come up recently that I know that everything is sort of meant to be. I would say to everybody that you have to lead every day as it is fullest, because I got a second chance to come back and some people don't. And when you have an experience like that, you have to make every day count. So I think that, you know, for me, it was so powerful, and it's why I live my life every day the way I do.
So I'm going to ask you again.
Yes.
Is heaven for real?
Absolutely heaven for real.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Thank you for having me.
Appreciate your time.
Thank you.
And for our viewers, thank you so much for joining us today. Truly appreciate your time as well. Hopefully you got something out of this hour on the Health Channel. All Health All the Time on South Florida PBS. You can always follow us on social media at All Health TV. And please be sure to visit our website, allhealthtv.com, where you can watch a live stream of the Health Channel and watch videos from previous episodes as well. I'm Olga Villaverde. Doctor, thank you so much again for your time.
Thank you for having me.
And we'll see you next time. You take care. Ciao.